Lesson 109 is about advanced trinomial factoring. And here we're asked to factor this problem. Negative 7x minus 15 plus 2x squared. We know our first step with these is always to write them in descending order of the variable. So we're going to get 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. Now this is advanced trinomial factoring because we can't factor anything out of our trinomial. We can't factor out the 2. So that means our binomials, when we factor, are going to look a little bit different. Instead of having x times x to get x squared, we now need to have 2 times x, because 2 times x gives us 2x squared. Now what that does is when we take our 2x and multiply it by our outer term, it's going to make it 2 times bigger. So we're going to have to look at what values can multiply to negative 15 and add to negative 7, but we've got to keep in mind we're going to be making some of them 2 times bigger here. So let's try a few pairs. We'll write it again on the side so we can work through and erase if we need to. Well, one must be positive and one must be negative in order to multiply to a negative number. So let's try 2x minus 15 and x plus 1. If we look at this, negative 15 plus 1, well, or negative 15 times positive 1 is equal to negative 15, so that looks good. Let's work through this and see what happens. When we use the FOIL method, we're going to get 2x squared, then we're going to get plus 2x minus 15x minus 15. 2x squared minus 13x minus 15. Well, is that what we had originally? Well, everything's right except for our middle term. Our middle term is not correct here. So that tells us negative 15 and positive 1 are not our right answers. Let's erase. Let's try it the other way around. We've got 2x, and let's say 2x, and this time we'll do minus 15, and we'll do positive 1. 2x times x is going to give us 2x squared, and 2x times negative 15 is going to give us negative 30x. Then we've got plus 1x minus 15. Again, our outer term is correct, negative 15, but our inner terms are definitely not correct. We get 2x squared minus 29x minus 15. And you can see what this 2x does when you multiply it by negative 15. It makes it twice as big. We've got to keep that in mind as we go. Let's try another pair of factors that will get us to negative 15, because that's the key, is to get to negative 15. Well, let's try 2x, and we'll try plus 5, and we'll try x minus 3, because 5 times negative 3 is negative 15. When we do that, we're going to get 2x squared, then we're going to get minus 6x, then we've got plus 5x, minus 15. Now we've got minus 15 again, but we have negative 1x in the middle, not negative 7x. So let's take this and we'll try it a different way. Let's try this one as negative 5 and this one as positive 3. Two x times x gives us 2x squared. Then we're going to get plus 6x minus 5x minus 15. This time we get 1x in the middle. We want negative 7x in the middle. This one didn't work out. Let's try another piece. Let's say we had the negative 3 over here and the positive 5 on this side. If we do that, we're going to get 2x times x, which is 2x squared. 2x times 5 is going to give us plus 10x. Then minus 3x, and then minus 15. Now this is going to add to 7x, positive, not negative. But this tells us we're on a good track because we've got the right number, it's just the opposite sign. So what do you think we need to do here? What do you think we need to do with our signs? We need to flip them. We need to make this a negative 5, and we'll make this a positive 3. 2x times x gives us 2x squared. 2x times negative 5 gives us negative 10x. And then we're going to get 3 times x, that gives us positive 3x. And 3 times negative 5 is negative 15. And voila, we've got it. 2x squared minus 7x minus 15. we've got our right answer. It's right here. We don't need to rewrite it. We can take this one. We've checked our work. It matches. We've got our right factor for this. That's why this is called advanced trinomial factoring. Sometimes these will take a little bit of time and patience as you go in order to solve. Let's look at a few more. Now when we factor this problem, this is already in descending order of the variable, which is good. It's going to look different because we can't factor out a 3 from all three terms. So we're going to have to get something that looks like 3x times x, because 3x times x is 3x squared. Now in this one we need pairs of numbers that multiply to -2 and add to -1. And if we think about this carefully, we're going to have to multiply one of those terms, the one on the outside, by 3. So let's try this. Let's say we had +1 and -2. -2 times +1 is -2. And let's see what happens with the rest of our problem when we use the FOIL method to check our work. We get 3x squared plus 3x minus 2x minus 2. And this one, when we simplify, is going to be 3x squared plus 3x minus 2x, that's 1x minus 2. We're very close this time. We've got a positive x, but we need a negative x. So what does that tell you we need to do with our signs? Hopefully you said we need to switch them. We need to make them the opposite. So we should have a +2, and then we should have a -1. And like the last time we did this problem, this worked out. Let's see if it works out again. (3x times x is going to give us 3x squared. 3x times -1 is -3x. 2 times x is going to give us +2x. And 2 times -1 is -2. So we're going to get 3x squared minus x minus 2. Perfect. That's exactly what we were looking for. We got our right factorization of 3x squared minus x minus 2. And this time, it only took us 2 tries. Let's look at one more today. We've got a factor, 5x squared minus 13x minus 6. So in the beginning, we're going to get 5x times an x. And then we need to figure out what's going to multiply to -6 and add to -13. But one of them is going to be multiplied by a factor of 5. This piece is going to be multiplied by 5 times. So if we think about it, factors of 6 would be 1 and 6, or 2 and 3. And somehow we've got to get to -13 in the middle. Well, if we're going to get to -13 in the middle with these numbers, one choice would be to take this piece and multiply by -3 against our 5x. So x minus 3 and -3. Because that'll get us to -15x, which is close to this piece. Then let's take our 2, and it's got to be a +2, because 2 times -3 is -6. And let's see what happens. 5x times x is going to give us 5x squared. 5x times -3 is -15x, like we said, plus 2x minus 6. So we're going to get 5x squared minus, well, -15 plus 2 is -13x minus 6. Perfect. That one worked out, and that one worked out the first time. We've got our correct factorization. We've checked our work to make sure it's correct. And when we think about our possibilities beforehand and what we'll have to multiply this 5 times against our outer number to help us get closer to that inner number, it can help us to solve. But one key with these problems is not to become frustrated if you don't get it the first or second or even third time. Be patient as you go and check your work. Our lesson practice will be on page 460. Make sure you've got your notes complete, and I'll see you during our next class.